welcome in everyone to episode 94? 94.
I think
We're
so.
closing in. 94.
Yeah.
I'm your host,
We
Caleb
got
Peng, joined by my co-host, Speedy's Chief, number 2.
dude, number 2.0, Speedy Chief 2.0. Inside joke, if you know, you know.
There's
Dude,
no way they know. There's no
I know.
way.
It's super secret.
People, okay, in the comments you can guess what the 2.0 stands for, but
dude,
I don't know. If you
episode
guess,
90.
I don't know what to say. I don't know
Episode
or not, but
yeah, episode 94, dude. Only 12 more weeks until episode 100.
wait, what? 12 more weeks?
Just because our math was so bad in a previous
Oh,
episode.
dude, yeah.
I'm just
What did
trolling.
you say originally? October?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, obviously
How is that happening?
October.
Speaking of things that happen sooner than later, I hit that 400K catches way sooner than later, man. I'm just saying.
I'll take partial credit.
What's your catches stat? Let's compare.
I'll take
No big
partial
deal,
credit
right?
for the motivation.
There's a. I was honestly chilling. It was. I realized it during my birthday. It was just when I was like, wait, I'm about there. I don't usually get the clean screenshot.
Dude, 400K
Wait,
for your 40th birthday.
What's going on? I feel like you were only a few thousand behind me. What happened?
No. I was never that close.
Oh,
I was always
didn't think I was that
pretty
much
far
further.
behind. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. You were always a little bit ahead of me.
I mean, once you get that Go Plus, well, once I get
know,
that Go
right?
Plus,
Dude, throwing great balls. Great balls of fire.
Right, a little low on it. Not gonna lie, but anyway, we are here. It is April 10th at the time of this recording. Both of us are about to head over to London in the UK and Europe for the Europe International Championship, the second one ever. And dude, we're approaching the 1 year mark of when we started this commentary stuff for TPCI, the Pokemon company, in the
1
official
year
championship circuit. It hasn't even
Dude.
been a year. That's the craziest part. It has not been a year, dude. Because we're I mean, by the time you all hear this, well, no, it won't even matter. But anyway, behind the scenes, we're looking at some of our old footage, right, from EUIC, just to see like things we could improve on, stuff like that. Oh my gosh! I mean, you even look different. Well, I don't know. Did you have a different like beard style or something, or did they just really darken your makeup, or you like you look different? I don't know what it was.
I had some
right?
I had some plastic surgery. Yeah.
Got some
No.
sunsins.
No, so little inside story here. I remember there was a dry cleaning place like a mile from my my apartment at the time, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to drive, right? I just want to like take a walk and like stretch my legs and get ready to go. And it was, April. It was April in Florida, really hot, really sunny, and I walked a mile there and a mile back in the sun. And when I the next day, I tanned a lot.
Was that it?
So
Were you just that much tanner?
I was actually quite tan. Yeah.
You don't look the same.
Maybe I put on weight, dude. Plastic surgery, weight, tan, all the above.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all have a chance, just look up Europe International Championships or EUIC 2022 Pokemon Go on YouTube, right? Me and Speediest Chiefs kick it off the stream. We're casting together, so you don't have to scroll through like the footage too much, right? Once you find one of us, you find both of us. I would say, well, my hair was all over the place there, but I was like real shifty-eyed, I wasn't even shifty-eyed. I was like looking like diagonal like the whole time. Like I never looked at the camera. It was weird.
It was tough because they told us to look at the camera, but also at each other. And then the way our setup was, like, obviously we won't dox Pokemon, but the way our setup was not the way it is now. I'll say that.
Yeah. We're not even doxing Pokemon, but let's just say it was a low budget setup. But we were appreciative and grateful to be there. I mean, honestly, they could have given us a closet and we would have been fine. But
exactly.
But me looking not at the camera was not really anyone's fault but mine. Yeah, they said, look at each other once in a while, but look also at the camera. And I did neither. I was like a little halfway in between.
Yeah.
So I've honestly been working more on my eye contact and stuff with just the camera and people. Dude, I get to the point where like these days, there's certain people I hang out with, especially if it's like one on one. They're like, they always ask me like, they're like saying like what? I was like, nothing. I was like, what do you mean what? I think it's just because I'm just like looking at them, like staring at them, like doing eye contact, and it's like
Oh,
too much or something. I don't know.
yeah. They're like, wait, why are you not breaking off the eye contact here?
Well, maybe it's also because I'm not saying anything, so that might be also part of the issue. But I mean, I don't know.
Ah,
Yeah, it's just eye contact,
yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know, man. It's crazy. 1 year. I mean, we haven't even been 365 days in this yet.
dude,
It's
let me just
crazy.
say, my suit game was rough back then too, man. I was getting roasted and stuff. I had my old suit. I even brought the wrong suit. I didn't have good suits, but I had brought the
Uh,
worst out of the two suits I had. And let me just
uh,
say, sneak peek for those that are about to tune in to the EUIC if you haven't seen it yet this year, right? I mean, by the time you listen to this, if you listen when it drops, it'll be in about 2 days or a
yeah.
day and a half. But I got some fresh fits for EUIC. I'm just saying. I went to my suit guy
Ooh,
Jod in Hollywood. Dude, this man, I'm gonna say, you gotta come and visit me just
dude,
for the suit
I'm
guy.
down. I'm
Just for
down.
the suit guy. I go into the
I,
store at like 7 p.m. I leave after 10 p.m. One-on-one consultation the whole time, setting me up with the works, right? Like there was like a whole pile of clothes on his table that we were trying out. And here's the thing,
what?
dude, this guy's like impeccable. Trying a bunch of shoes. This is really cool looking suit, right?
Mm,
I put it on and I'm like, it looks really cool and I like the concept. I
uh,
don't like it doesn't look amazing on me, right? But it's like
okay.
kind of like tan with like some like black lining and everything. I was like, it's got like a really cool, 3-piece vest.
Mm,
And I'm like, dude, this actually is so like maybe I can make it work down the road. Maybe I'm just like not in the right mood for it, or like I just don't have the right undershirt. I was just wearing a t-shirt at the time, right? I
mm,
was like, yeah, I mean, I'll take this one too, right? Because I was like, yeah, I'm here for like, I think I ended up getting 2 suits, right? I was just like, I'm here for
mm.
I'll buy a third one, right? I'll do this one. And he's like, no, no, no. He's like, I'm not like any other suits like person selling suits would just tell you to buy it, right? Or encourage you
Yeah,
to
of
buy it.
course. They
I
make
want
a
to make sure you
sale.
feel good and feel like $1,000,000 while you're wearing it. I know you don't feel like $1,000,000 when you're wearing this. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I could tell just from the way you're standing, you don't feel the same, right? As when you wore this other suit that you just put on. I was like, dang, this guy is good. Like he could tell like what suit not only looks good on me, but what suit I'm feeling, right? And he
Yeah,
knows I'm not
yeah,
feeling it, even if even if my words are not lining up, dude. This guy is like he's a true professional, man. And the same thing, I'm
yeah.
like he trying on different ties, right? There's like 3 different like pink kind of ties, but they all look good in
Uh,
different ways.
yeah.
He's like, which one you feeling? I was like, I'll just take all 3. He's like, no, no, no. He's like don't do that, right? Like we want you to like wear like different things so that you surprise people every time you're on on a broadcast,
uh,
right? You're not wearing the
uh-huh.
same kind of stuff. We gotta rotate different colors in, right? So like pick one of the pink if you want, but let's take a look at the other colors after, right? I'm not going. He's like you live a few blocks away. You can come back later if you really want the other pink ones, right?
It's true. It's true.
Dude, I was like,
Bro.
I saw some suits that I was like, this would be perfect. If I'm commentating for Worlds in Japan, this would be perfect for that. And he's like, yeah, come back in a few months, right? When we might have new stuff in stock, but also this will be here, right? So don't worry. I was like,
Bruh.
dude, this guy. And then when you
Bruh.
check out, he's like, here, I'll give you this for free and this for free as well too. And I was like, oh, I appreciate it. He's like, yeah, man, I gotta take care of my people, right? So and
Dude, that's amazing.
he remembers me from when I visited him before Worlds last year in it
Mm.
must have been July. Yeah. Or no, I visited him in June because I was gonna wear that nice blue suits for
Uh,
NAIC, but I couldn't get the pants hemmed in time, so I
mm,
ended up wearing it for Worlds. So I haven't been there since
gotcha.
June, but he still remembers. He remembers my dad. I
Dude,
visited him in December. Yeah. He doesn't remember the
dude,
faces very well, but he once you talk about it, he's like, oh yeah, 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 like yeah, that was your
yeah.
dad too. He has very nice energy. He's also very small. I was like, yeah, he's 5 feet flat, baby. He's
Yeah,
short.
yeah, yeah. Dude, that's insane. It almost sounds like he's an outfitter for like James Bond or one of the Kingsmen or something, right?
Dude, he really might be. It's like a hole in the wall shop. Like it feels like one of those situations you walk in a shop, one person, that's it, one employee,
Yep.
got a
Yep.
whole host of things. It looks like a very large closet, dude. I'll bring. If you're in the area, I said the same thing to Wholesome because that guy loves his suits, and
Oh, dude, he does.
yeah. he was asking for, I don't know if you saw this in the group chat, the caster group chat, but he was asking for feedback on a suit last night.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, it's not bad and stuff like that. Or here's another option. I dropped a Google Maps link from Austin to Los Angeles.
Oh, there
Just
you
like,
go. Yeah, just come out for a quick consultation,
yeah,
you know.
no big deal. Just if you start driving now, you make it before tomorrow. Anyway,
Dang, man.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Well,
What you got coming up for EUIC? You gonna surprise us all too? You got some
I don't know.
colors.
I hit you with the presidential look last time,
Dude, that's
and I
true.
got
If was it day 2 at Fort Wayne? Yo, y'all got to check
day
out the
two
VODs
Fort
there.
Wayne. Yeah,
Look at the VODs there. He looked like Mr. President. You know,
yeah. Totally.
2024.
Yeah,
2024. Holy,
2024, dude. We're coming up
holy
on it
crap!
already.
We are.
Yeah.
Were we? No, we weren't even delayed in presidential elections during pandemic. It was just we were
No.
just voting in
Or yeah,
COVID.
remotely, so to speak. But no,
Oh, wait,
no.
was it remote for you? I went in person. Did they even have the option?
Uh, no. So I don't know how people are going to feel about this. I actually did not vote last election cycle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Politics are always interesting. I don't
It
mind
is.
ever talking about politics, but I know like
Yeah.
a lot of people. Here's the thing. I know it gets really emotionally charged. We'll finally get to this episode in a second, but I
Yeah.
will say I actually really enjoy talking to people that have like different viewpoints from me, and I have a lot of like close friends that do have different viewpoints. I mean, it's like inevitable that you could meet people, right? It's just your choice on how you
Hmm.
want to interact with them and stuff, right? No matter where you live, especially these days, right? And we're so global and everything's online. Like you're gonna run into people some way, shape, or form, either virtually or in person. And I don't know. I'm always under the like belief that people are doing what they believe is right, even if you don't agree with it, right? Like I think there's
Sure.
very few people that are doing things purposely that they know are wrong, like on like a consistent basis, and like have zero guilt about it and don't care, right? Don't actually care.
Yeah, of
Besides like
course.
actual like clinically diagnosable psychopaths, right? Those people have like zero remorse. But those are things you see on docu series on Netflix, like true crime stuff, and that's
Yeah.
usually like pretty rare. I mean, as a previous psychology major, I know that those kind of things are not very common. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so it's just I'm always trying to go for the understanding angle. Sometimes I'm less understanding when I'm on Twitter and it's just like a bunch of trolls. But those aren't usually even political differences. Those are just people that are just like belligerent. I don't know
Oh
for
yeah. Just
what
trying to
reason. Yeah.
stir the pot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or something. I always like I those are people I always be like, I just want to sit them down and be like, what's up? What's going on? You know, actually I thought about this the other day. Squirrel Trapper, if you're listening, what's going on, man? You want to be on a guest on the podcast? I'd be down. We'll just invite you.
Dude,
I'm really curious. I just want to pick your brains about like how you feeling, what's going
the thing
on.
is, the thing
Like if
is,
you're
dude,
squaring a bunch, like I'll have to censor some of it, which would be a pain. But
a lot of
you
those
know,
people have such a shell that you'll never get to like who they actually are, especially if they have an opportunity to entertain, right? Like
yeah.
they would just troll post verbally in real life the whole time, you know?
Would you be curious slash down for it? You could say no for the Squirrel Trapper.
I don't think the episode would air because I think they'd be saying all kinds of derogatory nonsense.
Maybe that would be yeah, because we could always attempt it between the two of us, right? And if it really does not pan out, we could
Yeah.
drop a clip. Maybe I don't know. That'd
Yeah.
be interesting.
Also, there are a lot of like positive comments we get, and I think it's been unfair that we interview the one freaking troll instead of all the nice
Yeah.
people, right? You
I don't
know,
know. We have a lot of people trolling on you all day long. Manning got some
it's
words to say
true,
about you
dude.
sometime
Ma-
here or there.
Manning's got jokes. He's got jokes for sure.
He does. He does. He's a Giants fan, by the way. So if you
Oh,
ever want to troll on
makes
him,
sense. Well,
uh,
Manning,
well, I'm not
dude.
saying the Giants are poor or bad or anything, but that's
Well,
where
Manning,
that's what hurt me
I
most.
graduated from Ole Miss. I've driven many times on Manning Way. I know, of Eli and
Mm,
Archie. I mean, really gonna
okay.
hate on me now? Come on, man.
I mean,
Hotty toddy.
he's an equal opportunity hater, I think. But
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
let's
Dude,
speaking of our fans, yeah, go ahead.
I desperately want you to post a picture from 2022 EUIC. I think I'm sitting in the same chair that we were sitting in or something because this chair actually looks very similar.
Dude, Let me I'm doing it
Dude,
right now. If
what
you're
a
looking on the
time.
screen right now, we're posting it on the YouTube version. EUIC 2022.
What a time
Look at
to be alive.
yeah, I'm gonna try to get a picture where I'm like kind of looking at the camera, but it's so shifty eyed all over the place. We'll see how it
check,
is.
check out the 38-minute mark. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I just saw you look at the camera, so that's where I'm
38-minute
going with.
mark. All right,
Yeah, 38-minute mark.
I'll specify that. 38-minute mark from day one, right? Dude, that was a long
Yeah,
day. Dude,
day one.
it was like we're so inexperienced, and production was as well. They were doing. Do you remember that they were doing like 5 minute or 15-minute be right back counters? I think it was like 15 minutes, right? It was kind of long.
Something like that. Yeah.
But back then, to be fair, we didn't have a lot of content to fill, so we just had that. We didn't even have trivia back then. Remember, trivia was all
Yeah.
of last season. This season, we got like footage from previous tournaments. We got like recap videos. We got interviews with winners. We got like
I
you know
know.
like welcome trainers. Here's my name's Will Dunphy, and here's how you use the
Sh-
trevenant, right, or something like
shout
that. Like
out
we
to
got spotlight videos.
our incredible production team, right? I mean, that's Katie, Lennox, and Daniel, and
Yeah.
the gentleman at Paperlight as well.
Yep. Dude, those people work hard, and it's really
They
showing.
do.
I mean, before just less than a year difference. Wild to
Yeah.
me. Wild to me. But anyway, we'll talk more about EUIC, but hopefully we'll be able to put on a good show for y'all in the coming days. And if you
I
listen
hope so.
afterward and you're disappointed, well, you can blame it on Zionic. Just kidding.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Zionic 2.0.
All right, so let's get into the YouTube comments from last week.
Let's
50
do it.
Delegray says, since they announced the remote raid changes, I lost all my motivation even to open the game, and I mainly just PvP. I recently love the background. I recently started. Sorry, if you don't know, on the YouTube version, there's Speedy Chief is
There,
now living in Niantic world in the
there's some
actual
Easter eggs. Yeah.
yeah, actually, really, for sure. Um, and Delegray also says, I recently started to enjoy Masters as well. My community is too small to be raiding in person, and I'm never free during raid hours or weekends. I'll gladly host you guys at the restaurant I work if you guys ever come to Malmo, Sweden. Oh, there's actually a regional there
There is,
in
yeah.
the coming months. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's during the same weekend as Hartford, maybe. But anyway, a small side note in I'm registered for the regional here as well on the 20 to 21st of May. Yeah, it's read our minds. Dude, that's gonna be very exciting. If you have the same username, let us know if that's your in-game name or not, because I'll definitely be keeping an eye out.
Yeah,
That's
me
happened
too.
with one of our previous one of the previous tournaments. Toshi Suzuki
Mhm.
was also performing
It was
at
cool to
Bochum, I believe. And I was like, wait,
yes.
I'd be reading this guy's comments. Like, this can't be the same guy, is
Is
it?
that the Toshi Suzuki?
Dude,
Oh
he's
yeah,
killing it, right? We'd love to
he
see some of
was.
our podcast listeners, especially on stream and stuff too. But yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't blame you, right? I think, dude, the pairing of it too, like of all the legendaries that can be out right now, it's also Lugia, which is like just not even something you could come close to soloing or duoing either.
Mhm.
Like it's really rough. And we could talk more about Reggie Lecky later too. But yeah, I get it. I don't blame people that aren't as motivated. My main thing is I wasn't ever like the biggest raider to begin with, but it's hard to even just do regular rates,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I mean, again, the fact is not lost on me that we had Johto Tour and we had the primals released, and then a few weeks later they decide to go through with this change. I mean, PV Poke pointed it out beautifully. The timing of all this is pretty sus.
Yeah, it is. But can you imagine doing the Primal Kyogre and Groudon without remote rates, dude? That would have
Not
been
possible.
even more of a disaster. That would have been just brutal. I don't even know what I would have done. I don't know. I like it would that
Impossible.
yeah, that would have been like honestly, that would have been so outrageous that I feel like at least for us on the Western Hemisphere, there would have been something that happened before it even hits us. because it would be so ridiculously hard and impossible for other people on the other side of the world before us that like it's literally just like they would have had to call an emergency and try to do something, right?
Yeah.
It just
Our
make no sense. Yeah.
our friends in New Zealand and Australia would get the brunt of it like they always do, right?
Yeah, dude. That's tough. We'll talk more about that when Aleki comes back around too. But anyway, uh, Roberto Lopez says the guy who won Worlds 3 times is Ray Rizzo, and uh he stopped playing after the 2013 championship series. He made a brief comeback during the Sun and Moon era, but decided to focus on other things afterwards. I'll give credit to Wolfie since he consistently played well for a decade, but Ray was so dominant in his run. Rizzo even beat Wolfie in the 2012 finals, which I think gives him an edge. Dude, incredible. And here's the thing. Uh, I will say though, Wolfie making it to I don't know how many times Wolfie's made it to the finals. I know he won Worlds like once, right? But making
Yeah.
it to the finals again is still no easy feat, right? Like you're one opponent away, and the one opponent have to be the three-peat champion. Like, dude,
That's
what a
tough. That's tough.
storyline! What a
Yeah.
storyline! Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
That still just amazes me because VGC is not easy, but also repeat Worlds winners for any Pokemon franchise
Yeah.
is
And
non-existent. I was besides Ray Rizzo, I think, right? Someone could fact check me,
yeah. Well,
but
not even to mention the number of players too, right? Because Go is still so new.
yeah,
Imagine competing against like 1,000 Go players at a tournament,
right.
right?
I mean, it's going to be even harder as we get later and later. I mean,
Yeah.
if Wolfie somehow wins Worlds sometime in the next like 10 years,
Oh,
dude, that'd
dude.
be that. I mean, a lot of people are already still saying that he's like the greatest of all time in VGC, right? But
Yeah. I don't think it'd
yeah,
be
I don't know.
debatable at that point. You know?
Well, he only win Worlds twice, though. I don't know. Does it? But over the long course of time period, right? Yeah. I
Sure.
guess you would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
making the comparison of I think you made this comparison last week, right? LeBron versus Michael Jordan,
Yes.
but
No,
I don't
it's like
know.
the argument of longevity versus championships, right? Like you could argue in the 90s that the rosters were less stacked, right? That you had basically like less physically able players as you do now because
Hmm.
it's such a specialized league and it's so much more mature. But then you could also say, well, Jordan still dominated no matter what. And I don't know. I'm a like I said before, I'm a Jordan fan, so championships are what really count in my mind.
I always thought Jordan's still better than LeBron. I mean, I've never been a huge LeBron fan. I've honestly used to be
Yeah.
a LeBron hater, to be honest, but I like the Lakers, so it's kind of hard to hate right now. But
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest. I don't focus as much, dude. Fun fact:
Mm.
guess who has been to the NBA playoffs every single season they've been in the NBA for over 10 years? I don't know if this is the only person or
Wait,
not, but
which
current
player?
active player, yeah,
Oh, which player's been in the finals?
yeah. He's played for multiple teams too.
It's got to be somebody like what's his name? Um,
He's a
it's not
previous.
Dwight.
He's a no, it's not Dwight Howard. He's a
It's not Dwight
previous
Howard.
NBA MVP, like season MVP for at least
Oh
one
shoot.
year.
Oh shoot. I actually don't know. Um,
I saw this little fun fact on Twitter the other day,
I'm
yesterday
thinking of
actually.
all the journeymen who change teams a lot. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know.
He's
I'm stumped.
James Harden. He hasn't missed the
Harden,
playoffs a
really?
single season. I think in his 13 or
Oh,
14 years.
oh,
Yeah.
playoffs.
And yeah,
Gotcha.
playoffs. I mean, he hasn't made the finals or anything like consistently. No one has. I mean, LeBron's probably
Yeah,
made the most amount in his years, but
yeah. That's amazing.
yeah,
Nice. James
yeah,
Harden has a wicked beard, man.
he does. Have you seen him without the beard? That's
No,
quite the difference, man.
I'm googling right now.
Yeah, it's
James Harden, no beard.
I mean, you
Oh
might be able to
yeah,
sympathize. A fellow man without losing the beard temporarily is maybe not a great time. But
yeah. I think the beard's a good look.
yeah. Um I might be mispronouncing this one. Goncalo Ribeiro says, listening on Spotify, but leaving you guys a comment and like. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Next time you
Yo,
come to
thank you.
Germany, I'll make the extra effort to meet you guys at Play Pokemon. Maybe surprise you with a .5 liter beer. Yo, please do,
Woo!
man. My favorite beer, I'm not even kidding right now, is the Hefeweizen, which is a German beer. And I honestly,
Yeah,
like, when I was in Germany, that's all I drank. But part of me is
I
like, maybe I
remember.
should have tried their cider because I know Germany's known for their cider as well. But I just kept drinking the Hefeweizen. But maybe
Yeah.
I should. I'll do a little bit of both. I was just super jet lagged the last time I was in Germany. Like I was like falling asleep at dinner. I don't know if you remember that, but Michael was talking to me, Michael
Yeah.
Staranka from Niantic at dinner, and
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh,
Dude, we were all messed up from that. I think we have a lot more experience now though.
yeah, I don't know what was that. We were so jet. I was so jet lagged for some. I was coming from Atlanta at the time, dude. Like the time difference was not
Yeah.
nearly as big.
Well, I mean, I fell asleep and missed dinner the first night, so there's that.
Oh,
Uh
that's true. Yeah, you did. And Butters just went straight to bed. He didn't even try to. I mean,
yes,
you
didn't
missed
even
out on an
try.
intimate dinner with me and Zionic at Chipotle.
Well, well, dude, think about this right now, right? For me currently recording this, it's noon, right? It's like 12:09. It's
Mhm.
actually 6 p.m. in London, right?
Dude, that's an 8 hour difference for me.
Yeah, it's even more for you. I've got my world clock, right? I actually
Australia
have
was
I have
not.
your LA time as well. It's 10 a.m.
Oh
for you.
snap! All right,
Yeah. It's yeah, 8 p.m.
dude, let's
or
go.
8 hours, excuse me.
I definitely had to set the world clock when I was in Australia because it was doing that math was like wow, it was like 19 hour
Dude.
difference or something for me.
Yeah, that
That
was
one specifically wasn't too bad for me. I feel like jet lag wise, besides our first night where we both passed out before dinner, but
yeah.
that was just because I don't know. I feel like the time difference was so big that it was almost back to like where I was, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it was just like slightly offset it felt.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
the plane ride also does the work. Number of I don't know. I feel like jet lag doesn't hit me nearly as hard these days because we're just like traveling all over the place. But
freaking road warriors,
who
dude.
knows? Yeah, wait till I miss dinner again. I'm for sure it's going to happen in London. Um, but that's awesome though. Oh, I also said .5 liter but in the specific comment it's 0.5 because in most
Yeah.
a lot of countries they use comma instead of the period. What? How do you say that specifically? Do you say comma .5 liter? Because I said .5 liter, right? But like, what? They don't say. They're probably not saying points in the countries that use the comma, right?
Actually I'm not sure. That's
Yeah,
actually a really good question.
curious. Anyway, someone feel free to drop a comment down below and
Yeah.
let us know.
We should ask
Uh,
while we're in London. Ask some
we can,
Europeans.
we can. Yeah, we're there. We're definitely gonna forget about that though. I think.
I'll,
Um,
I'll ask 23 EJB. All right, go ahead.
okay, perfect. Your MVP pick
Yeah.
of Europe. Daniel Oliveira says, "Feels my heart hearing you guys talking about VGC as well. I've been following Wolfie since before Pokemon Go launched, and I'm always rooting for him. Actually, never saw Ray Rizzo play, which is a shame. When you talked about movesets, we see all the time in VGC streams that the players are always taking notes of what they learn turn by turn. Go could be the same. We wouldn't know the details about the opponent's team, but could take notes on what we learned after each round, held items and moves, etc. Yeah, that would be pretty dope too. I mean, in this year, I think, or in recent, just a couple months ago, they started doing open team sheets for
Yeah.
VGC. So you know everything from held items to move sets and everything. The only thing you don't know is if the IV spread. So I think they're just trying
Yeah.
to do it for a more even playing field for like those that go on stream because then people can like scout them out and stuff. And VGC, I
Yeah.
think like that info is like probably even more critical. I think for Go, like there's only so many potential move sets outside like even like when you say Mew, like most Mew are running Surf Wild Charge with Shadow Call, right? Like, you know, once in a while, like we saw like a Focus Blast Psyshock one, I think, at Orlando, but like for the
Well,
most part, most move sets are pretty standard or predictable.
we
But
saw
yeah,
a
VGC is wild.
flame charge wild charge Mew at a previous regional.
Oh, I feel like I did too. What regional was that? Do you remember?
Mm, I'll think about it. Maybe it's in my notes here. Let's see.
Oh, dude, you got some
Oh,
notes for sure. Yeah.
dude, I'm cheating.
While you're looking that up, Ben Stram says,
Ben, let's go,
love this
Ben.
comment. He said, "The $70 slot machine got me in Charlotte." Shakes my head, dude. That's tough. He's talking about Mr. Meteor Folly and Bastion Shadow Vic, man. You gotta respect the guy for going to that many tournaments and still consistently running the Shadow Vic Bastion core.
What made me laugh is that that trainer also no. Am I thinking of Mormon Matt
Who are
who
you thinking
also
about?
played VG?
So
It was either
he no, you're right. He played TCG because I remember when we were
uh
walking around Salt Lake City after the commentary stuff, we ran into him. He waved to
mm,
us right when we're getting food, and we were walking with some TCG casters. I think maybe we were going to the staff dinner. I think that's what it was,
mm,
and or the yeah the caster dinner,
caster dinner.
and
Yeah.
there was no VGC at the time, so they had to be TCG commentators unless it was Adam Dorcott because he was doing both. So I can't.
Adam.
Yeah, yeah. I can't remember. Maybe he was but I think there's a higher likelihood that's a TCG caster.
Yeah.
And I think they said they remember him from TCG, and he went by a different name, I think.
He
And they
did.
said he also played some weird degen strats there
Yeah, that's right. That's
like
right.
some cheese
Okay.
strats as well. So
Yeah.
it's funny
Like,
that he's on brand for every Pokemon franchise, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he seems like a nice guy too. So like, I ain't even hate him, but it's just funny. Like, I love that though, right? That like every tournament, there's a chance you're gonna face like Meteor Fallen and his Bastion Shadow Vig, so you got like can't like just fall asleep on it. Lucky for
Yeah,
Arrow, he didn't face
exactly.
that guy because he only had one check of Bastion. Like when I saw Arrow's team, I was like, dude, I would have loved to face your team. Like, come on now, that would have been amazing.
I know,
Your
man.
role,
Double
you're
ice with fire.
dude, yeah. I just run double Metasham counters and a Bastion every single game and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that would have been wild. Ben also says, I feel like Niantic should come to some sort of middle ground. 150 coins for remote and 10 per day allowed would be much better. I think it would, but I think we'd also still be just as outraged if that was the option. Maybe now, if they present it, we'd be a little less outraged because we've seen like the even worse scenario, which is the current state.
Mm,
I don't know. I just feel like they should have nerf remote raids in general. Just like improve in person raids to get people out, right? If people aren't going to go out, then clearly like the the buffs that you did to in person raids are not enough. But I do think,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I think if they did that now, Ben, like yeah, people would be a little bit more happy. But I think some people still feel like it's a slap in the face, you know. But I
Yeah.
get it. Like I would still prefer that over what we have right now, but I just prefer just like they just never did all this stuff, right? That's like if we're doing
Mm,
this when they shorten the distance of the radius of stops in gyms. Imagine if they instead of going back to like what we have now, they just went like halfway. Like, yeah, we'll just increase the radius halfway through, right? You're like,
yeah,
dude,
people would
really?
still
Like you could,
be
yeah,
frustrated.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yo, my nemesis is here. House Stark 93. Yo, he got his cat in the profile picture too with him, man. I feel like it's a showdown. It's like him and his
uh
cat looking at
his
me.
cat, he's got a name, Caleb. His name is Falcor. All right.
My cat got a name too, and her name's Chaggy. Right? He got a profile pic of his face and the cat in there. They looking real mean mugging. Let me do the
They
same. There we
are.
go.
Yeah.
How we,
There you go.
how we looking? How we looking? She looking like she ready to
Cheggy.
fight, right?
Yeah, yeah. She's got the paws up and everything.
Yeah, we're gonna box. All right, sorry, girl. My cat's
Oh my
always.
god.
Why are you doing this to us? Anyway, he said in Charlotte there were over 100 competitors and only something like 2 actually registered but didn't show up. I think the retention rate is definitely on the rise as well as the overall numbers of people going to regionals, which is a great sign. Yo, Hartford, Connecticut, man. You're right. You're right, House Stark. Hate to say it, but the nemesis is right. He also says, P.S. I'll make sure to bring a Feralthorn and Trapeon team next tournament to help you guys get some good practice. Hey, bring the
Stop
Hartford.
it,
I'll
Alex.
face that any day, right? Sounds like Bastion on food right there.
Dude,
Uh,
I'm actually curious. You're registered for Hartford, right?
yeah, you want me to take a look real quick? And what is
I
that
want to see
now?
how many people are signed up. And
I
while
was
you
going.
look it up, I'll
You read my mind. I
go.
was doing the same thing. Yeah, yeah. Read the next comment while we're going. There's a comment
All right.
underneath Starks actually.
So the reply to Stark says, "No, I might get used to Ferrothorn, but Drapion? No way. This doesn't sound appetizing to me at all." I agree, Sabine. I agree. I think it's
Appetizing. What's she trying to eat these Pokemon? What's going on?
hey, there's other colorful ways to say you like something, you know?
I guess so.
It's
All right, we
appetizing
are
or nauseating.
fair, fair.
All right.
We are at 146. It's pretty good.
That's actually
Utrecht,
amazing.
Utrecht had a total of 151 for the actual people that
Mm-hmm.
showed up, like that actually played, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so it's we're
Dude,
still some time away too.
dude, I'm just saying, I think Hartford's a great like you know, barometer at this point of where we're going in terms of attendance. But I'm serious, dude. If we do not sell out NAIC, I'm gonna be super disappointed in the North American community. I'm gonna be really disappointed.
Dude, I honestly won't be shocked if Europeans come to NAIC as well. I mean, we have a few
I
North
think they will.
Americans going to EUIC. I know
Yeah.
Misha's going.
Uh-huh.
I know Ventusi's going for all the way from Latam,
I
right?
was just say
Ventusi's there. I saw
Ventuski
the picture. Ventusi's
and
there.
Tali, who's from Peru, she's also going. So
Oh,
like
yeah. That's
there's a
huge.
lot of LATAM representation. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if any of the 7-Eleven people are going. Do you know?
I actually don't know. I'm not
I mean, they'll
sure.
definitely be at NAIC for sure, right? Like, there's no way they
Hmm.
won't. We had Andrew
Hmm.
My Hearts getting second place last year, too.
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, NAIC should be good, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, we have a bunch of Canadians going to Hartford, too. I can't wait. Pokédex is
Yes.
going, too, competing
Yeah,
again.
that's gonna be awesome. Dude, I think he just dropped his video of his
On Vancouver, yeah, I didn't check it, look at it yet,
Vancouver.
but I was going to do that. Speaking of which, I need to work on my vlogs too, man.
Yeah, bro. Gotta drop
but
those.
here, right? Even if Pokédex ain't that long, it take a while to make those, right? That was a few months ago too, even for him. Manning says, your favorite person, Manning. It says,
Manning.
if I don't find an in-depth breakdown of the Asian Pogo PvP landscape in these comments by this time next week, I'll be really sad.
Let's go, Manning.
Squirrel
Gotta
Trapper,
keep him
where's the
accountable.
info at, man? Come on, you're leaving us hanging.
Gotta
Hop on
keep
the
him
podcast
accountable,
next week.
Manning.
Yeah,
Let's go.
yeah,
Let's
exactly.
go.
Hop on the podcast. If you don't know what we're talking about, we got sorry, I thought my refrigerator was making sounds. Yeah, just listen to the last podcast, but our favorite listener was commenting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
King Duckspool says, what a lot of people seem to forget is the hashtag Heroes Niantic isn't just specific to the rate changes. It's meant to be a, hey, Niantic, talk about your passionate community, please. Absolutely right. He also says, it's getting harder to stick with the game when you see and hear so many other communities having a great relationship with their game developers. Pokemon Unite comes to mind with Timmy Studios. Not saying there isn't issues with Unite, but they communicate a lot more and do regular major rebounds when needed. Thanks for the great work again, guys, and maybe see you at Hartford. And I'll be there. Oh, he says, I'll be competing this time around. Was supposed to judge, but something came up, and then now I can go again. Hey, man, King
Let's
Duskable will definitely puts up a fight.
go.
I think King Duskable made top cut at Vancouver last year, if I'm not mistaken,
Dude,
too.
he
He
took
also
out two major teammates he took down, right?
not even slouches too. It wasn't like he took out Speedy, Chief, and Two Butters or something like that. Like when they were on the team, he took out Rise to Occasion and Doombuck in that tournament, right? If I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I think so. I think so.
And that was before they even qualified for World Championships. They weren't even trolling. They were trying to play like legit teams. He made top
Yeah.
cut in Pokemon Go in the Play Pokemon series before Doombuck and Rise did.
Yeah. It's true.
Anyway,
Actually did quite well. Yeah, so I'm excited to see that.
that's catch me dodging.
So I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, right? Like KDP always comes in, comments, leaves some great thoughts. I feel like just addressing this first point about game developers talking to the communities, I feel like it's a recurring thing that the game devs actually don't. And I'm speaking in terms of two games that I've been following. One is Halo Infinite, and the second one is Unite. I do feel like there are balance patches pushed a little bit more quickly in Unite, but also, dude, compared to us, those Unite players, a little bit spoiled in terms of their updates. They get updates a lot more quickly than we do,
Dude, they
and a lot
do,
more
and
communication.
they do, and for I think the thing is like for Timmy Studios, they have nothing to lose by making a well balanced game. They just do it,
True.
right? There's no revenue for them. Like it's just like skins and stuff. I mean, honestly, the most pushback they get is when they release new Pokemon to use and they're like super expensive, and the only way you could like play them is buy them at full price, and then
Gem locked.
they nerf them afterward. But from the actual
Yeah.
like competitive circuit, like the organizers ban a lot of them, right? Well, it's
Yeah.
actually just TPCI, I think, that bans a lot of them. And I think, I mean, say what you will if you like it or not, but I think TPCI has, and I know we're commentators for them, but like I think they've done a good job of doing what they can, with the meta
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like they can only do so much with the meta, right? But they're gonna, I mean, they ban like Galarian birds, right? Because those are not like accessible at all. But
Mhm.
they banned Buzzwole and the other mythical beasts last season for Worlds because they weren't
Yeah.
accessible either, right? Like
Yeah.
they'll do
Mhm.
stuff, but the thing is, they can't force a moveset update. They can't just like be like, screw the boom burst thing. Here's what we really want to see, right? They
Yeah,
unfortunately don't have that
exactly.
power. So,
Yeah.
um, but we'll
Yeah,
we'll
well, I
see, we'll
mean,
see how it goes. Yeah.
Spraggles released a video of maybe a week or two ago where he said that Unite is a house of cards. Essentially, what he was referring to is that there are tournaments like every single weekend or every other weekend, and when you look at the balance patches, sometimes they release a Pokemon like the Zacian that had its Forgive me for not having like the completely accurate explanation, but essentially it was able to strike through its opponent's special defenses
Yeah, true
consistently.
damage, I think is what they call
True
it.
damage.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the true damage was actually bugged, right? It would always come through. And that was a big reason why Zacian was so busted. So Spriggles was explaining like if they fixed one thing, they make one adjustment, it could break other things in the game. And I think that happens with pretty much every game, right?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to me, like having Unite be so new and so much money behind the prize pools, and then looking at that juxtaposed to Go, which Go like Unite was built as a competitive platform from the beginning,
Yeah.
but
It's a
Pokemon
MOBA.
Go was not. It's a
Hmm.
MOBA exactly, but Pokemon Go was not. So the
Yeah.
way that we're like shoehorning in our competitive angle is a little bit more challenging than Unite, and I just find it, I don't know, they're getting like moveset essentially moveset updates and rebalances like mid-season constantly. I think that's
Hmm.
exciting, right? Like
Uh-huh.
imagine if new moves are just introduced to Go like a week before a tournament. I think it'd actually be pretty fun,
They're
and it
also
would give
getting new
players
Pokemon consistently.
true,
Lapras
also
coming up.
true.
I know Morita's probably excited about that one too.
Yes, dude, she's gonna come out of retirement.
I don't know if I'm like this is just like a rumor or something, but
Hmm.
um I don't know. Maybe my friends are just joking around in voice chat. Don't quote me on this, right? So I need to fact check this. But they were saying how you could like some Pokemon could sit on Lapras's back in battle or something like that.
Yeah, so
Can you
it's
actually
it's
do that?
unite it's unite move. Essentially, you form like a big wave behind the Lapras,
Uh
and your
huh.
movement speed increases like 2 or 3x, and you can essentially like have people like jump onto that wave behind you, and you can just bring everyone to
Oh,
to Rayquaza Pit.
yo, that's wild. Well, they
It's
made a
super
joke.
fast.
We were playing with someone we usually play with, and this person was like mad about our friend Palmer's up for using Cramorant, right? And he's like, but Polly's like, oh, these days he's been playing a lot of support. He's like, I'm playing Comfy like every day, right? Like if I'm gonna play Cramorant, I'm gonna play Cramorant, right? Like you're not gonna stop me. And someone's joking
Yeah.
like, yeah, like when Lapras comes out, yo, Polly's gonna be uniting on that Cramorant, that Lapras back, right? As Cramorant's like rolling through.
Dude, yeah, like a mobile machine gun, right? Just boop, boop,
Yeah,
boop, 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 boop,
yeah, exactly.
boop. That's
Uh,
amazing.
yeah.
But no, that's
Um,
real.
I feel like King Duxbull said something in here that Oh, dude, speaking of the Heroes Niantic thing and like, it's more than just a remote raids,
Yeah.
where has the dev diaries been? We're supposed to get those every 2 months. Am I mistaken? Like I know some people like Jerry Seawolf harps on it a lot on Twitter, and like I try not to add too much fuel to the fire. But at this point, like, what? What happened to those? Like
What was the last one they did? The last one they did was super embarrassing, right?
it was the
It was
artwork one, right?
the
And that one was
artwork, yeah.
delayed too. That one was already
Yeah.
delayed a bunch of months. But like I don't know. We can't blame like I mean Michael Soranka if he wants to take responsibility for the boom burst update, sure, but like you can't be involved with like everything, right, Michael? Like I cannot hold
Yeah.
Michael to this just because he's on paternity leave and stuff that there's no dev there.
Yeah.
Like there has
Mi
to be
Michael's
people.
Michael's not the only employee at the company, and I'm sure of that, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like
Uh,
I don't know. What is up with that? That is weird. Anyway,
I
we want
mean,
if hey, Niantic employee that you're listening, right?
yeah.
If
Wikipedia says that Niantic has, less than 1,000 employees. So, Michael is one of up to 1,000 people working for them, so
yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say if you're listening, you're a Niantic staffer, you should maybe bring this up, but I don't know. Maybe it's not like. maybe they might get backlash for be like, "Hey, we're gonna do a dev diary."
Honestly, Caleb, what it comes down to me, in my mind, what it comes down to is priorities, right? Like it's just they got a lot of backlash. They started releasing the Dead Diaries, wanted to communicate more, and then it just no longer became a priority.
Mhm.
Maybe they're overworked. Maybe they have too few people doing too many jobs. Again, that's not the employee's fault. That's a structural issue where they don't have proper resource allocation. And it's just not a
Yeah.
priority, which honestly, it doesn't feel like it's been a priority for a long time. I mean,
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not
is there
wrong.
any other way to put it? You know?
We'll see. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like even just get an intern working on it. Make it that their project every 2 weeks, 2 months, right? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
But Ryan
Wish I had an answer.
Colgrove. Yeah, I wish I did too. Ryan Colgrove says, "Glad you made it to Fort Wayne after all that wild travel adventure indeed."
Yeah.
Also says, "Tough state of the game right now for peeps. I have similar story to Speedy as well as when I first moved to California with befriending one of the admins via raids. I'm
Mm,
extroverted and it was no big deal for me to make a whole new network of friends, etc. Point is, everyone has a different way they engage with the game, and it's unfortunate to see them crust something because it doesn't align with their roadmap at the moment." Yeah,
yeah.
it's just I don't know too much to say. I mean, I'm in LA, right? This is not like a small city. In fact, it's one of the biggest cities in the world, and I'm sitting here doing Lugia raids by myself too. You know what? Honestly, like you know what I have to do? I have to
What?
invite people with PokeGenie. Like I had to find new friends through PokeGenie, invite them to raids. I feel bad.
Mhm.
None of my friends are really going to join the raids either, right? I feel bad making them spend a remote raid because they're like
Yeah.
boycotting or not feeling it or doesn't want to spend money. I don't blame them. So I'm just finding
Yeah.
some randos on PokeGenie to do raids,
Yeah.
and even that's hard.
I've gotten some raid requests from friends, and I always feel bad. I think I since the change, I've accepted one raid invite, and it was from House Stark, and we four-manned a Lugia, and that was it.
That's rough.
And that's all I feel like doing. I don't
Yeah.
feel like buying anything else or spending any more
Hmm.
money, and that's how I'm going to speak. I want to before we move on from this comment, I just want to say Ryan is the man, right? He always comes in, listens, leaves comments. He's the homie. I've never heard this phrase that he said. He said, "quote It's unfortunate to see them crust something just because it doesn't align with their roadmap. Crust, like pizza crust, all right? So I think I know what that's about. Have you heard that before?
No, honestly, when I read his comment, I was sitting there for a second, like I don't know if you could see on my face, but I was like sitting
Yeah.
there thinking, like,
No, I can
is
see
that
it.
a
I can see it.
typo? Did he mean something else? And I sat there, I couldn't, because sometimes there's few typos in comments, and no big deal, right? I usually like try to like figure it out while I'm reading it to readjust,
Yeah.
but like it, like you said, it actually says crust, and I can't figure out what else would be in that spot besides crust. Like there's
Okay.
other words you could probably fit in there, but like they're not, there's not close, right? To the word crust.
So right, I want to just take a guess here, take a stab at this. So if you look at a pizza, right? Like you would say like the toppings, the cheese, the sauce, that's all the goodness, right? And the crust is around the edge. So if you're not focused on the crust, you kind of push it towards the edges. You're like, yeah, I'll get to it later, but it's on the outer rim, and you just focus on all the cheesy goodness in the middle. I think that's what this is about. I think
So they're pushing the remote raids to the
to
crust.
like
Is what you're saying.
to the crust, to the peripheral. Like, okay, we'll deal with that later. Right now, we're gonna enjoy our pepperoni.
Yeah, that pepperoni being AR tasks.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Is that a phrase? I need a. I'm curious. I might look this up afterward. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
All right. I wanna. You mind if I take this comment from
Yeah,
Justin?
please do.
All right. All right, Justin wrote a comment here. He says, "It's hard not to be discouraged after the latest remote raid fiasco. This is in parentheses coming on the heels of a string of other disasters, no less." Yeah, it definitely feels that way.
Hmm.
It's like one of those disaster movies where there's a tidal wave, now there's a snowstorm, now there's an earthquake. Oh, it's like one thing
Dude.
after the other.
Yeah. Day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that the
yeah,
movie?
exactly. Yeah,
And then the wolves are coming out too. Those wolves in that
dude.
movie. Spoiler
Yeah, I
alert.
know. Picking
So
off the
um,
week of the herd.
mhm.
I started playing the game just under 2 years ago, and I spent a good amount of money on three things: incenses, boxes, and remote raid passes. All because were things that allowed me to maximize the time I had available to play. Like most people, though, I'm pretty busy. But one of the things I loved about Go is that I could play it when I had a few minutes to spare or when I was doing other things like folding laundry. Also true, dude. I love to like bury my buddies and do like the gym leader battles to get hearts while I'm doing laundry or doing other chores. He says, then they nerfed the incense so it didn't work with while stationary, so I stopped using them. In parentheses, the number of hours I have to devote to walking around catching Pokemon are limited, which is true, right? You
Mhm.
can't just like sit at home, play like the way you play VG or TCG or whatever. Then they nerfed the boxes, so I stopped buying those. The incubator cost was no longer worth the extra dust. Now they've nerfed remote raid passes, and I refuse to buy those now as well. I love the game and I want to spend my money on it, but they are actively discouraging me from doing so, and I don't get it. At some point, it just seems like outright hostility from Niantic. But why be so hostile towards your own players? I just keep hearing Speedy. Less stick, more carrot, and here we are, completely buried under sticks.
Dude,
I agree.
I'm buried under tree trunks at this point, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Justin's absolutely right. I mean, I love how he opened up the comment with coming on the heels of a string of disasters, and then he laid out the entire string of disasters. Really well done. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just like I don't know, like what is I don't get it. Like it's like sometimes like it seems like Niantic doesn't even want to make money, you know? Like obviously like to a degree like we want to spend money on the game and play the game we enjoy, but we're not going to
Sure.
go down this route, right? And spend money on it, right? It's just like you have to be reasonable, Niantic, right? But at the same time, they
Yeah.
know they're going to actually lose funds over this too, and they're still doing it. Like, there's no way people are going to raid the same that they used to. I mean, you even limit the raid passes. You really can't spend that much on in a day in all likelihood for a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, like Justin's saying, it's not even just about making money. It's about making the game the way that your players want it to be. They're like they're actively making their players unhappy because they want them to do certain activities.
Dude, they need dude, Niantic needs like a consultant to work with them and to figure out their like
Dude.
business like decisions. Like they need like a
Dude.
gaming consultant that can help them out. I feel like
But
the thing is
but
like
that's the
it just
problem though.
they're
Do
not
they
going to look for
even
one. They don't.
do they
They're
even
not.
want one?
They're not going to. To
I
do
don't
that
think
would
they do.
acknowledge that they're doing something wrong, and
Well,
that has not happened a lot. The first Hero Niantic thing has so far nothing this time around. I did say last week I was like I'm hopeful that something will happen. I can't remember how long it took for the last year's Niantic thing to change, but like for the stop gym distance removal.
uh
But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully something will
well,
happen with this one.
Well, again, they brought in new leadership to restructure the company because they were in a bit of trouble about a year and a half ago, roughly.
Oh yeah,
And since then, yeah, since then, a lot of things have changed. A lot of the box prices have fluctuated. The incense have changed. The remote rate passes are now changing. Um,
yikes.
yeah, it's a bit
That's
of
the
a
thing, right? I would even tell people. Some people are like, it's like, maybe I'll apply Niantic, make changes myself. But the problem is like most people that join that company will not be in a high enough position right off the bat to make the changes, and you might just get
dude,
frustrated.
dude.
But
It's like,
dude,
go
if you're
ahead.
listening to this, I don't know why you'd be listening to this, but if you're listening to this, you're like a big wig like director somewhere, right? That has the ability to make like a lateral move to Niantic where you have a huge position of power and you can do it. I mean, like I said, I don't know why these people be listening to our podcast. Or even Scroll
Yeah,
Trap be like, "Wow, you all make it spend a lot of effort on a 200 listener podcast."
yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
if you're
I
out
don't
there
know.
and you're listening and you have the power to do something and you want to apply for it, we really support that. But again, that's
Yeah.
hard, right? Like even if you get into like a director level position where you can make a lot of changes or executive position, you're still you're still outnumbered, right? So like it is your
Mhm.
first day at the job, you're gonna get fired.
That's
Like
that's just the thing, man. It starts with leadership, right? It
yeah,
always starts with the leadership,
dude, this is.
always.
I would love if we get a Niantic employee on here, but I also don't want to get them in trouble because they might not be
Dude,
able to share a lot. But also,
you
like,
know what I
because
would love?
remember when Train Chips had a community manager in one of his
Mm,
videos?
yeah,
I don't know if they'll ever do that again, though. But
yeah. I don't know. I thought that was a great attempt, right? You always want to
mhm.
get people you want to increase these touch points. And I think it's also, I don't want to harp on this too long, but I think it's
Yeah,
just bizarre. It's bizarre that community managers are community managers, but they can't talk with the community openly. I think that's so weird.
Yeah. I
And
feel
I
like they're
don't.
more like a ear to the ground kind of situation. They're like more like community listeners. Uh, uh, I don't know. I To be fair to them, and again, I don't really know many insights on this. My guess is they're like tight-lipped because they can't say anything either. You know, like they have NDAs and they have like work
But
contracts.
why?
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, I will say this though. Someone wrote about this, but like in one of my comments, and we'll talk more about this in right after we answer these questions. But I made a comment about like remote raids, and someone wrote in my comments, and they said, I've been reading all the comments too, because it kind of blew up a little bit. But someone's like, I just wish like they can be like these companies can be transparent with us and stuff. More
Yeah.
transparency would be nice, and blah blah blah. And I just responded, I was like, I think I will say I think Niantic was pretty transparent with the remote raid stuff. It's just not the approach we agree with, right? I fully believe that they're doing this because they want us to get out there and to align with their vision, whatever X, Y, and Z reasons. I just think they're a little out of touch with the community and don't have a good infrastructure in place to actually support what they're looking for, right? But I don't think it's anything deeper than that, right? I know some people have like these conspiracy theories. They're like, oh, maybe it's because the Pokemon company told them to do this, or maybe because X, Y, and Z stuff. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think it's actually even that difficult. I think I feel like they were pretty honest with what they're saying in that blog post about remote raids. It's just it's just not what we want, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it's like you're in a relationship, right, with somebody, and you get to a point in the relationship where they say that they want a big change, and they say, uh, "You snore too much. You don't brush your teeth often enough.
Oh
And
my
by the
gosh.
way, I'm going to start charging you. You're going to start paying 75% of the rent instead of 50%, and that's how it's going to be, right?"
Wait. I don't understand this analogy. Who are we? Who are the player base here? We snore too much
No,
and don't brush our teeth and they're
no,
charging us rent?
yeah, we're the people that are receiving the bad news, right? And Niantic is the partner. Niantic's saying, snore too much, don't brush your teeth, and now we're going to start charging you more for rent, right? You need to pay in more to rent, or just for this example, right?
I'm
There's a
so
way to
confused by
like,
this example. What if I just brush my teeth and stop snoring? Like, is the rent still going up or what?
well then go outside and do more raids in person, and then also play the game the way we want you to play it, but you still gonna have to pay more.
Dude, this
Do you get what I'm
analogy,
saying?
I'm
You
not
get what I'm
really following
saying?
this analogy. All right, okay. I would say stopping yourself from snoring is like a much harder task, but you can definitely make the effort to brush your teeth, right? What
Well,
does
then you
Niantic
got to
want
make
us
the
to do?
effort.
Brush our teeth? Like, what's the equivalent here? What can we do to brush our? Oh, just go outside and raid. I guess that's what you're
Yes,
saying.
the analogy I'm using for brushing your teeth is if you can like stay at home and not have to brush your teeth, aka do remote raids, or go out and meet people and have to brush your teeth more often and do in-person raids, right? What I'm saying
I feel like
is like
we're in the wrong here in
I
this
think a lot
situation.
I think a lot of well, dude, you're a Niantic homer now. I'm just saying. No, I'm kidding. But what I'm saying is
I don't know
this is
this
like an
analogy.
analogy within an analogy, right? There's a way to gently tell somebody that you want things to change, and you know that they're like a huge supporter of yours, and you want things to be different going forward. And then there's another way, which is just saying, I'm going to be honest, sure, but I'm just going to like lay it all out there, and it's going to hurt your feelings regardless, right? And I think that's what you're getting at. Like they said what they were going to do, right, with the remote raids, and that yes, that was technically honest, but at the same time, it feels rude, to just kind of stomp on your
Oh
community
yeah,
when they want to play the game a certain way.
it does feel rude. Oral
Yeah.
hygiene is important though, but yeah, the snoring thing's harder
You
to
know,
fix.
sometimes my analogies hit, sometimes they miss.
I don't know. Let us know in the comments if the analogy hit or not. I was confused for the first like 75% of it, but I think
I
I'm
think people
mostly there.
understood. I think
I
people
think I'm
understood.
mostly there. Yeah, it's an interesting analogy to say the least. Sabine says, one thing I hear all the time is that Niantic doesn't care about their community. I say they don't need to care because they simply don't have a community. We are not Niantic's community. We are Pokemon Go's community, which is a bit of a problem because Niantic has developed this game. But what if we all invested our Raid Pass money in the game itself and simply bought Pokemon Go from Niantic? I mean, look, if you knew how to, if you could lay that out for us, Sabine, I'm all aboard, right? I just don't know like how that happens. You know, the problem
I
is
don't know.
like the people with the power and money to do this probably aren't playing Pokemon Go. You know, like
Hmm.
like imagine me and you were like billionaires and be like, we're gonna buy out this company, right? We're gonna offer Niantic a bunch of money. It's one they can't refuse, and just like hire a bunch of new employees. Like that'd be
Mm,
great. How many billionaires are playing this game actively though? Like
true.
I don't know. Probably not,
True.
right?
It feels like a low priority thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, imagine dude, they probably don't have time to remote raid with whatever they're doing. Not saying all billionaires
Yeah.
are super, super busy, but I'm sure they have plans.
Yeah.
At the very least, they
Everything
have
is a
plans to
business
like
decision.
go golfing or
Yeah.
something, right? Yeah.
All right, we got one more here from Thiago.
Hmm.
Hopefully writing in before the next recording. You are absolutely
Dude, three
Thiago.
hours
Thank
in
you.
3 hours in time, right? Made it.
Exactly. Thiago says one point about the remote raid slashing is Niantic is not trying to go for PR. It is following the advice of Machiavelli, which is bringing unpopular changes mercilessly and all at once. But popular changes spread out over time. Parentheses in the Singaporean grandma article, they mentioned the carrot to come to new features for the northern hemisphere's summer. So, kind of like Trainer Tips pointed out, they will not answer to this movement. Niantic will probably keep its community is angry right now silence for a while and then release something new and supposedly exciting before any form or reply. I mean, honestly, I think you're right. I think they're counting on people to have a short memory. And even dude, even this weekend, I saw people posting about their Reggie Lucky raids.
Yeah.
You saw
Yeah.
it too, right?
Dude, I mean, if you follow Alert Up Podcast on Twitter, you'll see that guy been retweeting everything, every Reggie Lucky raid in existence on Twitter.
Exhausting.
But I mean, what I mean that's a good transition too, because the Reggie Lucky this weekend. I feel like that's just such like I don't know if a red herring is like a good example. It's like irrelevant to the remote raid thing because the elite raids were always going to be in person anyway. You couldn't do remote raids for it, so people were going to show up in person. Like people showed up for Reggie Drago in person too, right? Like it's not because they nerfed the remote raids that people were there for it, right?
Mm,
My question is after this, right? After this weekend is passed and they introduce a new raid rotation, who's going to be out raiding? Not as many, right? Until the next elite raid stuff, not as many. I'm sure there's still gonna be some raid trains here or there, right? Or on raid hour. But like outside raid hour and stuff, like there might not be too many. And even for raid hour, I don't like I'm probably just gonna do like two like one or two Pokegenie raids on raid hour and call it a day, right? You just like I don't know. Like even when they get a good raid boss, I don't know how they do all the raids. The people I usually raid with, they're gonna be done after 5 raids, and all in all likelihood, they're done with the 5 remote raids before they even get to when it's my time, right? Like day's
yeah,
over,
exactly.
right? They've maybe joined raids from like Europe or Asia or wherever, right? Instead of West
Hmm.
Coast. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't think like the Reggie Alecki thing, I feel like strategically it looks good for Niantic, but in the grand scheme of things, if that event
it's
was never here, like there wouldn't be a bunch of pictures of people raiding together this weekend, right?
it's very clever. It's
Yeah.
very clever, the timing and the deployment. That's why, like, again, like people think Niantic is stupid, but they're really not. They're really not stupid. Maybe they're a bit like
No.
unresponsive, or maybe they come across as being disconnected, but they definitely are smart, and that's, I think,
They're still
the
making people buy
problem,
their boxes even after the terrible nerfs
dude.
to them over the years.
That's the thing. Like, if you know that somebody is not capable of something, right? You might feel sorry for them and say, oh, well, maybe they just couldn't do this, or maybe they just don't understand, or maybe they don't have the capacity to really
Some
execute on this, so I feel
made
a
up
bit
currency.
sorry.
Yeah.
But you can't feel that way with Niantic. They're not dumb. they
Yeah.
they they know what they want to do. Whether what they're doing is right is a whole nother question, right? But they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, I feel bad for the people at Niantic that are trying to like fight against a lot of these changes that we're talking about that aren't great. Like the string of disasters, like Justin said, right? There's definitely got to be
Hmm.
someone, a couple people in Niantic that don't feel that way, like that want what we want, right? What a lot of the people want, whether you PvP or not. And anyway, I did write a tweet though. I don't know if you saw it, but I did write a tweet this
Yeah,
past weekend.
I did see
I'll
it.
just like line it out for people. So for those that may have not said it, I said one of the biggest blunders of the recent remote raid update is the failure to have an infrastructure in place for how to raid post update, putting the onus on the players to completely form or reform local raid groups out of nowhere shows the lack
Yep.
of thought put into these changes.
Yep.
The amount of effort it takes to create these local raid groups will likely be too much to yield global success. Think about features in this game that have been received well, such as the first raids, PvP, and Community Day. There was immense excitement around them initially, and that is why these features have thrived for years. Compare them to AR scanning tasks, a feature most don't care for. There was never any excitement around AR tasks, and there likely will never be due to its delivery and Niantic never incentivizing players to care for its function. If you're getting like 10 rare XL candies for it, people might be scanning stuff, but so far there's no
Yeah.
big reason to. I continue and say, we are almost at the 6-year mark for raids. The original excitement around them has dwindled. Expecting players to raid in droves with their local community is completely unrealistic. Sure, it was a ton of fun back in 2017, but so were our toys when we were kids. I sincerely hope my read on situation is completely wrong because I do love the game and wish it to thrive in all aspects. However, being hopeful without any action or contingency plans after big game changes is being delusional at best. And
Mhm.
I still stand by my statement after all the discussion on my thread. But yeah, I don't
It's
know.
just like if there were some huge updates to Campfire, right? If Campfire was actually a viable way to get people to meet and they were incentivizing it and it was built out and it actually was a good platform, then yeah, like it would make sense to kind of like shift weight from one thing to the other. But
Uh
like you
huh.
said, it just feels like a drop off,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, by the way, you have 1 week's notice to contact all your people in your local community that you probably have not seen since March of 2020 when the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now you need to start contacting all your locals and like reactivating all your discords. Actually, we don't care how you do it because we don't know how you're going to do it and we can't support all those other platforms anyway. Discord, Telegram, whatever group chats you have, we can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So figure it out, you know.
Yeah. And for a bunch of raid
It's
bosses that have been around forever, right? Like figure it out, right? Lugia's been out since 2017. Like it
Yep.
literally, Lugia's been around for 6 years. Figure out a way to
Uh-huh.
raid one of the hardest raid bosses with a community that doesn't exist right now, right? It's just like when they nerfed the incense, I could kind of see where they're coming from because yeah, the pandemic is not as like deadly as it used to be. Like I still don't support it,
Mm.
but there were options around it, right? And also like there's like I get it, right? But for this one, like it's just what options you have. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. We'll
Maybe
see.
next week something will happen. I mean, we can only keep saying this for so long, right?
I'm
I'm
telling you,
hopeful.
people have a short memory, and a lot of companies are counting on that these days, increasingly.
Yeah, yeah. But that's pretty much it on that topic. I mean, we got some other changes too. We talked about this last week. We didn't get to it, but Play Pokemon
Mm.
is doing championship points
Mhm.
again, and for or sorry, not again. I should say they're going to start adding it to Pokemon Go, but this won't be for Worlds qualification. This will just be
Mhm.
for travel
Yep.
to NAIC. So this is going to be an
Yes.
interesting one that they are going to be start testing. So I actually talked to Gabby Snyder, our co-caster,
Mhm.
who
Mhm.
does Go but also does VGC for many years. So she's very familiar with the championship points from a VGC standpoint. So essentially, what's happening is they announced this Play Pokemon did from TPCI and
Mhm.
championship points. If you're not familiar with VGC and TCG, is players attend tournaments, and depending on how many total players are at the tournament and your placement at the tournament, you can earn championship points, but potentially you have to place a certain like cutoff, right, to get it. So that's why sometimes like if people do poorly, they just drop out mid tournament because they're just like, I'm 0-4, like there's no way I'm getting championship points
Mm,
here, right? You can play for fun if you
mm,
want to, but it doesn't help with anything. Um, but they do Swiss style, so they don't like if you. It's not double elimination. So if you lose, it's fine. It's just like whoever has the most amount of round wins after playing like 8 rounds, 9 rounds, 10 rounds, whatever, can move on and stuff like that. And they have like elimination stuff on day 2.
mm.
But anyway, so for that's why we've mentioned this probably in the past in the podcast that you can in VGC and TCG you can win a tournament and not qualify for Worlds because you still need more championship points, right? It's how they balance it out, and I don't know how I feel about that specifically, but at the same time,
Mhm.
that's why a lot of these people travel to multiple tournaments, right? You got people like Ramberto who won San Diego, and he hasn't gone to any regionals afterward, and he probably won't. He's busy and stuff, and that's fine. He already qualified Worlds after winning it. But for
Yep.
VGC and TCG, you win a tournament, that's not enough, right? Unless you win.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you win an international if it's enough. Maybe some of the internationals it
So
is.
I don't know if it is, right? They changed the point system like midway through the season, if
Yeah.
I remember right. But a lot of people were really upset with the point system in the past, and a lot of people still don't like it right now because it's
Mhm.
so tough, right? I firmly believe if you win a regional, you should be able to go. Do you agree or disagree? You should be invited to Worlds.
Regards to the size of the regional,
Yeah.
I think for the most part, yeah, I would probably agree with that. It's not
Mhm.
easy to win a regional, but there are some regionals that are definitely very small, like some that are like 20 something people, 30 something people.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like there's probably less opportunities for them anyway in those regions. So maybe I don't know. Um, yeah, I guess I would be in favor of that. We
Mhm.
don't know how that's going to look for Pokemon Go, right? But something that's interesting about it is for TCG and VGC, you'll see if you go to a lot of these, or if you pay attention to any of their streams, you'll see a lot of the same names and faces at these internationals. And at first, I was like, wow. I was like, man, they got a lot of disposable income traveling all over the world to like Brazil, Australia, right? Like London next,
Mhm.
right? Ohio.
Yeah,
Like they're going
right?
to every international. It's the same big players. For Pokemon Go right now, you have some players doing some of that, but for the most part, most players are playing in their local region, right? Like EUIC is going to be mostly European players. LAIC was pretty much all Latin players. I don't think there was any that weren't. Maybe like one or two. And then you have NAIC, mostly North American players, et cetera, OCIC, stuff like that.
Mm.
But so but at TCG and VGC, you see a lot of the same names, and I'm just like, what's going on?
Yeah, like
And
how?
yeah, how? And essentially, what happens is they actually get a travel stipend to go to internationals. And I don't know the
Yes.
specific numbers for TCG and VGC, but it's mostly like top 16 ish or whatever, I think.
Mhm.
And I believe it might. But for Go, what they're going to test run for North America International Championships, NAIC, what they said is the 8 players in North America with the most championship points will be eligible for $750 travel stipend paid after the event and subject to them attending and completing at least one round of play in the main event. And I think
Oh.
also from what I hear from Gabby too, they are like securing a spot for them to participate. So if they sell out tickets, like they'll make sure that they get a ticket, right? Because some of these events they sell quick, especially for TCG and VGC, but even for Go these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, blah blah. You need to have a account and everything, and so it's um and I don't know if it's this might be in total or maybe yeah, for
Mm.
Go, I guess this might be in total or oh no, from April 5th 14th till June 18th. So
Yeah.
starting after like these upcoming days for all the regionals remaining, if you attend enough and you earn a certain amount of championship points, you will get the travel stipend, right? To go to NAIC. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And I was talking to Gabby about this, and I was like, that makes more sense because at first I thought it was like the rich get richer, right? I was like,
Yeah,
well, if you
exactly.
go to the international at LEIC, then you're gonna have more points to go to OCIC and to EUIC. Like you can never catch up, right? And on the flip,
Mhm.
but what she said is actually it's like a couple months span, right? So it's only from like one international to another, not like whole season. Otherwise, like it'd be impossible to catch up, right? Unless you're just also flying out of pocket to go to these. Um, but but she did say that the previous international does add up to that, right? So let's say, for example,
Interesting.
so EUI, let's say if like this was global for all Pokemon Go players, let's say to get the championship points for NAIC, it would start with EUIC, which is
Mhm.
why like they said like it starts on the 14th, right? I think that's like right when EUIC is.
Yeah,
It will
exactly.
start with EUIC and then go from there. And I asked her, I was
Mm.
like, do you think that's fair, right? Because like, well, how like because the people that got to EUIC for like BGC and TCG, a lot of them, the good players, had some travel stipend to go there, so they're going to have a leg
Yeah.
up, right? Because they have that. And she said it's actually not as bad as you think because they need to incentivize top trainers around the world to go to internationals, even if they don't have the travel award. So let's
Yeah.
say like you don't have it and I do, I'm going, right? You'd be like, well, I want to get the travel award next time around. I'm gonna buy a ticket to go to London to compete so that I get some points for NAIC because I know Caleb's
Yeah.
going on a travel stipend, and I need to somehow compete with him
Mm.
and the other 15 trainers for that top spot, right, for next tournament.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
of course.
it's hard for them to incentivize people to go for a big one. So it's an interesting
Yeah.
concept, and we're gonna have that change for this season, so it's gonna be good.
Yeah, and
Um,
all of it's like still so foreign to us, right? Because we don't really know what the championship point system is like, and it's been in flux, and Pokemon Go is still so new. And our winner take all system actually is pretty weird when it comes to the other titles as well. So I don't know. I think it's a good change. I was wondering how they're going to balance it. I was personally, I'd advocate for like first and second place still qualify, but then there's like a trickle down effect of points past that, right? So people like Wadaj, Onion Frank, and Trent actually would have like a good shot at either getting invited to NAIC with a stipend or just placing high enough in terms of points to get to Worlds.
Meteor Volume might make it too.
That's true by sheer volume, which is
Sheer
how a lot of
volume.
players do it.
Sheer
Yeah,
volume. But I think our co-caster Wholesome Jim said this too. It's just like it's like for some players it's near impossible to qualify for Worlds unless you make
yeah,
an absolute ridiculous run at one of these tournaments because you got big names like showing up to these tournaments consistently, right? I mean,
yeah.
Radosh is a really good player and he hasn't even qualified for Worlds yet. You know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Trent as well,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Arrow just barely made it right on his 8th regional this season. You know, but like it's again it's a grind,
True.
and but the problem is like it's like feast or famine, right? You either get it or you
Yeah,
don't. But at least
yeah.
with championship points, it'll make it much easier for more people to qualify for world championships, and that means a bigger worlds potentially in future seasons if we do move to that. So for Go at
Which
least, so
would be
that'd be
great.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's quickly cover this event that's coming up, and then just wrap it up because I know you're about to board a plane soon.
Dude, yeah.
Don't forget the passport.
Gotta get running.
Yeah.
For real though. For real.
Yeah, we might be on the same flight tomorrow. Yeah, Speedy's leaving a day before me, but
Yeah.
if he's on the same flight as me, then do you fly
Hey
to
man.
LAX for? No, you probably no. You would go the other way.
Connecting to Atlanta. There was an option to go to LAX, but no, we're going to Europe. We're
Yeah, yeah,
going
yeah, yeah,
east.
yeah. Oh, the
Yeah.
reason why, yeah, because I'm thinking about when we were going to Brazil. That's one where we
Yeah,
would have both been on the same flight from Atlanta. Yeah,
that's
I
right.
got a direct flight, baby. That's nice.
Ooh, let's
I mean,
go.
you're dude from where you're at. I feel like you don't have direct flights to anywhere.
Nowhere.
You gotta
Nowhere. Unless I'm going
honestly.
to Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo, regional Atlanta, hit me up, man. I'll definitely be back there for sure.
Dude, that'd be
Um,
dope.
anyway, we got a Mystic Hero event, and I'll just say it's not that heroic, I think. But they said, "Are you
Mm.
ready to be a hero?" I
I need
mean,
a
how are
hero.
we gonna do it? April 13th to April 17th, the 4-day event. Event bonus: 2 times XP for evolving Pokemon. 2 guaranteed Candy XLs for evolving Pokemon. Dude, you get guaranteed XLs for evolving Pokemon.
That's a new function. There's
Yeah,
potential there.
I'm sure XLs on Rayquaza. I can't wait to evolve that one.
Dude,
Um,
actually, think about it. What if you need XLs for like coughing? So you evolve. Dude, that rate is way better because it's like 50 regular candies to evolve coughing, but you get 2 XLs for it.
no, it is good. I'm just like joking around and stuff. It is not a bad mechanic, but the problem is like you need a bunch of coughings to evolve.
But instead of 100 to 1, it's 50 for 2.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not bad.
So
I wouldn't say I hate it, but I think for me, like I have XLs for most things I need. But you're right, it would be good. Oh, I will say
yeah.
this too. Um, it is kind of nice because you can evolve things and then trade them with a friend to get another XL, 3 XLs with that,
Ooh, smart, smart,
right?
smart,
And then
smart.
maybe get a fourth one if you transfer. So maybe it's not too bad, but I mean, the main thing is save the stuff, right? You're a hoarder, so you hopefully have stuff. save, right?
I do.
If you have like you're building up like Galvantria for Ultra League, right? Save those Joltics, right? Evolve them. If you're doing any swaps with people for distance trades or whatever, don't swap any that can evolve until this event goes live. It's not terrible, I
It's
guess.
true. It's true.
Lure modules activated during event will last 3 hours, etc. Lapras wearing a Blanche themed accessory is going to be the special research story. If you're lucky, it could be shiny. Tasks focused on evolving and catching Pokemon will be available. Trainers can also earn Stardust and evolution items as rewards for completing these field tasks, field research tasks, time research, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's about it. There's nothing too
That's it.
wild, but maybe we'll just be busy evolving.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have this for Blanche. Obviously, we're going to get a Spark and Candela version. I mean, eh, honestly, I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see a Team Leader Cup theme in GBL more than I would like to see this event.
Yeah,
Like, imagine
yeah.
Blanche Cup or Spark Cup, right?
Candela's a
I don't know.
fighter. Wait till she comes around.
Fighter and Fire would be cool.
Right? Right? Um yeah, so let's see we'll see how that goes. You could call me cringe, but I saw a bunch of Pidovs and Pidgey and stuff to mass evolve. so
Nice.
I'll be getting plenty of XLs from those.
There you go.
Quick elo check before we wrap it up.
Sure. Let's see what we got.
I've been like free falling a little bit after climbing some.
Free
I thought I was gonna hit legend before EUIC, but I don't think it's happening.
I'm at 2403.
Oh, I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling.
You're chilling? You 300 above me or what?
I was at
Yeah,
2800, 28 something like a few days ago, and then I ran into some rough comps.
Bro, you're chilling. Spring Cup or Master League?
Dude, what you think, man? I was playing Master
Spring.
League. Dude. I was playing Triple Week to Kyogre because I had nothing. Playing Melmetal Extra Ho, man. The amount of Kyogre teams I beat was wild. Hey, if you're Dialga though, you do not want to see that team. And there's
That's
plenty
true.
of Dialga.
You're in for a
Dude, they
bad
swap
time.
out. I'm just like, I'm chilling. Sometimes I got Dialga with a Lugia. I'm chilling.
Dude.
Sometimes I got a Zacian too. I'm chilling, right? But then Kyogre and Groudon come out, and dude, Precipice Blaze is kind of brutal, man. That thing does a lot of damage even against Ho-Oh. I was like, what is going on?
It's one of the most broken moves in the game, right?
It's faster than Earthquake. That's the crazy part. I don't mind it, but like, because it's only Groudon that knows it, but still,
yeah, it's nutty.
It is, yeah, it is not fun. Anyway, that just wraps it up for us. We'll push the T topic again. It's fine. We talked plenty of T earlier too, and it's we'll talk about it next time. It'll be fine. But anyway, if you're listening, you know what to do. Catch us on EUIC on the twitch.tv/Pokemon Go on Friday and Saturday, and then we'll be on the main channel, twitch.tv/Pokemon on Championship Sunday. Yo, predictions. Let's just throw out a prediction right here. Who do you think wins it all? You got one person. Is it EJB?
Who do I think wins EUIC?
Yeah. How about this? We'll each predict a person and see which person places better.
All right.
Last time. Oh, you're pulling up a picture.
This is Zionic and Butters from last year. I'm just gonna have this right
fashion
here.
statement right there. Top button. I don't know.
My prediction. My prediction. You ready for this?
Yeah.
This is a hot take. We're going to see Freaka come in and win it all after being runner-up last year.
Oh, that is a hot take. I got my boy Emmy Weedo taking it all.
Bro, he already won a regional already, man. Come on.
I know. That's why I think he could do it. You don't think so?
Fair.
This man hasn't lost a tournament since his first EUIC, since last year. Hey, I went back and watched the footage too. It's actually pretty funny. We commentated his battles.
Yeah, dude, don't get it twisted, right? Miwito could win. All right, I'm not saying he couldn't win, but I just think 256 players, somebody else got to win this one.
I don't know. I mean, there's a greater likelihood that neither of us are right, but let's see when it all shakes out, which player's doing better, Emmy Weedo or Freaka.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway. Catch us on the next episode. We're closing in on episode 100. The real question is, do the remote raid passes get restored before episode 100 or not?
Nope. I think we're SOL, as they say.
Not Niantic, what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us?
I don't
Anyway,
know.
UIC is gonna be good. I look forward to your fits. Safe travels,
Dude.
and I'll catch you in the land of beans and toasts.
Beans, toast, and tea.
Yeah, toast and tea. Anyway, I'll catch you all later. We'll catch you all later, and have a good one. Peace out.
Peace.